Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Today we're doing a review of this 2020 BMW 330e. It's a plug-in hybrid electric vehicle. So it's a 2-litre 4-cylinder petrol motor engine and a 12 kilowatt hour battery. And altogether it has 288 brake horsepower and 299 pound-newton meters of torque, I think. So it's pretty nippy. I'm going to be comparing it to that M1 330i I drove a couple weeks ago because I feel like they almost fill the same niche of a daily driver that's got a little bit of poke and is still good on fuel, basically. So this car, let's talk about the major drawback. I think the biggest drawback, first of all, take a look at it though. This generation of BMW 3 Series, I think they nailed it, because look at that car, especially in this blue. I'm not sure what the blue is called, but it's such a good color. And then this one has a couple of extra bits apart from the M Sport. It has like extra visual upgrades, like the front splitter, and then the side skirts, and then the rear diffuser with the quad exhaust. They're not real exhaust, it's round, but nonetheless it still looks amazing. I think they really nailed this design. I do like the M3 even with the Bugs Bunny teeth. But yeah, so the main downside of this being a hybrid is the boot space is pretty bad. I mean, for its class. So because of the batteries underneath the boot, it has 375 litres of boot space, which is 5 litres less than that M1 330i X-Drive did. The regular 3 Series has about 480, so it's a big loss in boot space. I think you can really see it because it's quite a small boot. There is an estate version. I think that's 410 litres, so it does help a bit. But there is just one major drawback for having the hybrid. I think it almost makes up for it with the way it drives. We'll talk about that a bit later on. But let's take a look at the interior, because I think I prefer this interior to pretty much the modern Mercedes, Audi and BMW. My favorite so far is the BMW, but this is not the latest interior. The 2023 4 ones have like the big curved display thing. I'll show a picture of it now. But this generation, just before everything became touchscreen, like all your climate became touchscreen, I think this is the perfect combination of tech and physical buttons. And I do like for the layout compared to the Mercedes one. It's a little less flashy. I do prefer that, but it's very well built, I will mention. I drove an Audi A4, was it 2021 I think, or sooner, and the quality was good, but this just feels a bit more solid. Like it's less hollow than the Mercedes or Audi equivalent. It may not look as fancy or have the same level of tech, but the build quality is a lot better than those two, I think, in my opinion. I do prefer the steering. For the design of the entire dash. It could do with a sunroof because it's pretty dark back there, if you can even see back there. So another thing to mention, I think, is the steering wheel. The steering wheel plus the instrument cluster is where it falls behind compared to the Mercedes or Audi equivalent, because the steering wheel does not give you that much function to control the screen, but that's due to the screen not having that many functions compared to I'm gonna keep saying Mercedes and Audi, but yeah, the Audi's virtual cockpit and Mercedes digital dash is way better than the BMW one. This one just does the job. It'll have a bit of navigation, your media over there, but the customizability is nowhere near the other two. So if you need that, if you like your tech, this might not be the one for you. But this one does have, can I show you here? This one does have the park assist and has the reversing system, which will remember your movements and then play back in reverse for you. So that's pretty good tech, but I'm not sure how often you're going to use that. I'm going to mention that M1 330i because price-wise, they're almost identical. For one, this is almost 70,000 miles, but like for a 50,000 mile example, it's like 22 grand for an M Sport 330e. You can get cheaper non-M Sports, that'd be like 16 grand. If you want an M Sport, it's like around the 22 grand. And the same for the 1 Series. So you do get for the same price, you do get a bigger car, even though you do get 5 litres less boot space. You do get a much bigger car, because look at this legroom. Hopefully you can see. I'll just turn this down. I don't have control. Hopefully you can see my legs. If you can't, that's tough. Because you have loads more leg room than the 1 Series, of course, and loads more headroom. And for the same price, you get a lot more car, I think. The 1 Series is, has 20 more horsepower, I think. It's like 306 or 302 horsepower. And it's 1 second and 60 faster than this. But in the real world, it doesn't really feel that much faster. We'll talk about that later. But yeah, cup holders. I like the way they open up. But I do prefer the ones that come out this way because then you have an armrest when you have cups in it. But yeah, seats here are pretty comfortable. You have a lot of room. I'm 5'10". You know, the best height really. So I've got plenty of headroom. I think 6 foot will just be okay back here. So 4 adults. Let's try the middle. I hate having to climb to the middle. Yeah, middle is never great, is it? No, it's not. The middle's never great, but it's perfectly doable. You could squeeze 3 adults back here. They're getting a free ride, they can't complain. And yeah, you do get interior lighting. In this model has the option for interior lighting in the door handles and also part of the dash over there. I don't think it's the same level as the Mercedes ones, but it's still a very nice touch to have. But yeah, and you have your climate control vents, and you can change direction even back here, which is pretty good for like an everyday car. But yeah, it's not too bad back here. Could do with a little bit of sunroof because it's a bit dark and you have there's a bit of a tint in the rear. But overall, I think it's a much compared to the 1 Series, I think it's a much more attractive looking car and proposition because it's not that big a car. It'll fit in most parking spaces, and driving around traffic, it's very easy to maneuver. So it's not like a 5 Series or anything, but I think it's a bigger step up over the 1 Series than you'd think. Quality and space wise, apart from the boot, which is like the 5 litre thing, but you can get the estate version, and they're like similar money to the saloons. Let's put a phone somewhere. Yeah, it's gonna die in there. You do get nice cup holders with a little bit of grip on them, unlike the old BMW cup holders, so it can actually hold some stuff in place, which is pretty good. So let's take it on a drive, and we'll talk about the way it drives and why I think it feels, I'm gonna say this, it feels more fun to drive than the M135i X-Drive, which is supposed to be the hot hatch, but this feels much more fun because of that instant torque. But yeah, let's start it up. So it starts off in electric mode. Don't read that. It starts off in electric mode, and it pulls away silently, which I think is pretty cool. You kind of get both of the best of electric and petrol, kind of best. But yeah, you have your different driving modes. You have like two different versions of hybrid, which eco and standard, and then you have your sport, which starts the engine up. You have your extra boost, which is like the full fat everything. And you have individual, you have your standard one. And in the standard mode, it will switch between like that. It will shut the engine off when it needs to and just let the electric motors do some of the work. Oh, that's a nice 8 Series. Damn. It's like a lighter blue, this one. I like that car a lot. What was I saying before I got distracted? But yeah, so you can go to the vehicle setting and you can see the energy flow. And it's because the motor's not directly on the rear axle. Oh, is that an XK? I got guessed, I was getting distracted. That's an XK. But yeah, you'll see it switch between engine and electric motors. But I do think that the instant torque you get from this motor really makes it more, I don't know, more fun than that 1 Series. The 1 Series, I think it was turbo lag. I'm not sure, because when I put my foot down on first gear, it would take a minute until when you hit second gear. That's when all the power really just punched in, and then it would leave this car for dead. But that initial first or second, this car feels a lot quicker, a lot more responsive. And that first or second is where you know you're doing like 30 by the time you finish that, so you're already at the speed limit. So that 1 Series doesn't really get going until you're already, you know, exceeding a bit of a speed limit. Now to drive this car, you do notice that it is a hybrid and a hybrid car in it, because it cuts out the engine sometimes and it brings it back in, and you can feel that happening. It's not rough or anything, but you just notice it. And the gears are smooth when you're doing normal driving, everyday driving. But when you want to put your foot down, like I will now put it in sport mode. The gears take a bit of a sec. They take just a little bit of a second to go, but it's perfectly fine for everyday driving. That's why I think this might be a better daily than that 1 Series. You do have to charge this battery. There are cables to charge this battery up, and driving normally it doesn't charge up that well. I've never really gone past 3 miles driving. I've driven like almost like since 9 AM, and I haven't gone past a full like 3 miles of charge. But that's because I drive like a hooligan, to be honest. But yeah, speaking of that, fuel economy is not bad. I was averaging 45 on the motorway, which I don't think is bad for a car that can accelerate like this. I think it's like 5.8 seconds to 60, so it's not bad for the performance. But for a hybrid, I think that there are better ones out there. So comparing this to its, no, the 1 Series isn't direct comparator, but as a used car, let's turn this engine off a little bit. As a used car, they're both almost exactly the same price, and I think they almost fill the exact same market, because the M135i is not really a fun hot hatch. It's more of a daily driver that just happens to be quick, and this is the same thing. And now they're the same price. I think this was initially more expensive, but there's a lot of these in the used market, and for the price you're getting a lot of car. Like, the ride is surprisingly comfortable. I thought the M Sport would be a little stiffer, but it's very comfortable car. The seats are nice. They are the manual seats. I always suggest get the electric seats because the adjustability is a lot better that way. But yeah, I think overall it's a much better proposition for that 22 grand. It depends on what you're looking for. If you're looking for something just for speed, that 1 Series is faster, no question about it. But this is a little nippier on takeoff or launch. I think that's what that matters in real world driving, to be honest. But yeah, for 22 grand's a lot of money, but this is a lot of car. The boot space is a bit of a hindrance, but you go for that state and that could negate that. And also this car is rear wheel drive, so when you do launch it, so I think if you're looking for a daily driver around a 22 grand mark, that's also economical, this has to be a consideration. But the boot space, it's a lot to take. It depends on if you, because it's a family car at the end of the day, so you're supposed to be practical, and that boot space is the same as a hatchback, so I think that's a big downside. But compared to like a 320i, I think is 18 grand for the same mileage. So you're paying like 3 or 4 grand more for this drivetrain, basically. So you're paying for a faster car, more economical in theory, but you have a way less boot space, and that is like the one drawback of this car. And you do have to plug it in to charge the battery, because the driving by itself does not charge it that well. I think overall it's an 8 out of 10 car. It's, I'm not gonna say it's perfect, because it has the flaws that I've mentioned. I'm not sure I could live with them. But that's how you test drive it, because this 3 Series platform I think is a pretty incredible package. I think this is a strong contender for most people, but I think the boot space and the battery lifespan, I think that's what most hybrids and electric cars are suffering from in the used market. As people are unsure about the lifespan and the repair costs on batteries, and batteries this big. But if you don't mind that, you're getting a lot of car for the money. I say you get the estate version just to negate that boot space hindrance. But overall, it's a great car. I love the way it looks. I love the way it drives. It has a sound. I'm gonna play a clip now. Hopefully I do play a clip. It has an exhaust sound, but you know, it's a 4-cylinder. But yeah, I think overall it's a great car. But if you can do the boot space, you're gonna have to get a 330i. I think they almost the same, not 60 time. But yeah, so that's my review of the 2020 BMW 330e. Overall, 8 out of 10 car. If it had a bit more boot space, I think it'd be nearly perfect, to be honest. So yeah, thanks for watching. Like, share, subscribe, and I'll see you later.